We're talking about a growing and concerning internet crime known as sextortion. The new wave form of blackmail involves threatening to share or publish a victim's intimate images online unless they give in to demands.
Now, alarmingly, image-based abuse is said to affect 1 in 10 Australians. And for more, we welcome back advisor and researcher on digital family lifestyle, Dr. Joanne Orlando, and along with author and psychologist Dr. Sarah Hughes. Good morning to you both. We've got to break this down. We've got to get into this. Joanne, how do these blackmailing scenarios begin, and then how do they escalate?
Yeah, so I'll paint a typical picture. Might be a 15-year-old boy, gets a friend request on social media, pretty girl, cute message, intrigues him, he says yes, accepts, and they might chat online for an hour, half an hour, and the conversation will turn romantic. She might say, you're so good looking, that kind of thing, really start to vamp it up, and then the conversation always turns sexual. And at that point, the girl will often say, well, let's take this offline. Let's go onto Skype or let's go onto WhatsApp. And the aim there is to get the boy to undress and to do something sexual to camera. And the girl will always say something like, oh, I want to see your face. Make sure I can see your face. And she might even be pretending to do the same. So a dummy video will come up of someone, not necessarily who they're talking to. And then once the video's taken or the boy has sent a shot of himself, then the stink. Okay, all right, I've got this shot. I'm going to show everyone unless you pay me 500, unless you pay me 1,000. And then the boy might pay, but the demands keep coming. And in the UK, a boy coughed up around $80,000 over 2 years. The sextortion just kept happening.
It is so scary. So the vast majority of victims are thought to be under the age of 18 and often male. They're the victims, the poor, the teenage high school boys. Why are they being targeted?
Well, I think in terms of why boys are being targeted, often they're more likely to look at sexual images than what girls are. And I think, unfortunately, for boys, teenagers are still developing, their brains are still developing, and because those frontal lobes are still developing, they're much more vulnerable to poor decision-making and impulsivity. And unfortunately, that's what these kind of people prey on.
Okay, Joanne, these aren't cute little girls sitting around a pajama party somewhere. These are like crime gangs we're talking about, right? How are they finding their victims?
Yeah, so they're going onto sites where those kind of random requests are there, social media, dating sites, video game chat, anything where someone can contact you. And no, it's not the cute girl, and it's not even one person. This is like a global syndicate, and they're often happening from Thailand, the Ivory Coast, and Morocco. And they're slick businesses.
Scripts,
they've got the scripts,
scenarios,
they've got the videos, they've all tried and tested. They know how to get these boys or these victims over the line.
Yeah, so Sarah, a big part of this problem is it stirs up feelings of shame or embarrassment for the poor kid, the victim. Why do they say, well, I'm asking why I know why they remain silent, because they're so embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? I think we were just discussing this before, even as adults, if you were to get something like this and you knew that you had sort of, fallen prey to this, you'd be immensely embarrassed. And I think especially for teenage boys, teenagers are so insecure in themselves and they're still sort of figuring themselves out, and, they're worried about getting in trouble from their parents, and they're worried, that what their peers think of them matters so much. And so the idea of this getting out, it's just humiliating. And I can't even imagine what it would be like to get a message like that. So for teens,
horrifying for a young man. What are the red flags then, given that we're, like all the other things we talk about with social media, we go talk to your parents about it, these young boys aren't coming to their parents to talk about this.
No.
So what are parents looking out for then? What are the red flags?
And parents need to tell their boys and everyone these red flags. One is at the first contact, the person will normally have some kind of sub story to try to get close, make sure that you're trusting them. And then the conversation will turn romantic and then sexual. And then also there'll be details that just don't add up. They might say they're a 14-year-old girl, but when they're showing footage, it's like a 22-year-old girl. And they're just out to just deceive you in some way.
And also the showing of the face is very important. If you're a boy and they're saying, oh, I want to see your handsome face.
That's right.
That's also a red flag, because without your face,
they can't humiliate
blackmail you, right? So that's another red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so just say the images, a boy or girl has fallen victim to this. They're now embarrassed. Someone's asking them for money. what now? What should they do? What would you like these kids to know? Because we know that children have taken their lives, they've committed suicide because they're so embarrassed.
Yeah.
So what should they do?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, it almost starts with parents in terms of, I think it's really important for parents to talk to their kids so that kids know that they can actually come to their parents, because I think this would be such a difficult thing for kids to actually seek help with, and they're probably not going to have the courage or the ability to do that unless we've sort of set the foundations for them too. So I think definitely being able to start that conversation and bringing up stories like this and kind of giving examples and, this happens. And kids are probably going to be dismissive when you do, and that's totally fine. But just bringing it up and you've opened the lines of communication. And the main message is just that, people make mistakes, everyone makes mistakes. We don't expect you to be perfect. And no matter what happens, no matter how much trouble you get yourself into, how much hot water, always come to us. We'll always help you, no matter how dumb your mistake was.
Yeah.
1 in 10 Australians affected. This is happening all day, every day. We've got to keep an eye out for it. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, ladies. Really important chat. For more online safety education, check out the important work, very important work, being done by the Australian Government's eSafety Commissioner. Head across to our website. We'll have all the details there for you.
Thanks, Drew.